why it was over before it ended. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'm referring to the relationship that you are considering. Maybe it's over, maybe it's just ended, maybe it's about to end, maybe you just learned recently that the person was who they are, not who they claim to be. Any way you cut it, when you were in that relationship, it was ending every single day you were in the relationship. You see, the clock was ticking. It was only a matter of time before the narcissist ripped that mask off and smashed it to the ground in 1,000 pieces. And perhaps you experienced the discard like I did. Maybe you had some spider senses tingling you didn't figure out till later. Or maybe you removed yourself from the toxic narcissist once you got the wisdom and you created, developed, and executed your exit plan. But any way you look at it, that person is a toxic, narcissistic individual, a parasite, if you will, looking for a host. They were not who they claimed to be when you first entered the relationship with them. They assimilated themselves with you. They most likely played and preyed upon your vulnerability. They told you that you could grow old together or have kids, or you would elevate them in some capacity. You would do something for them, or some things, I should say. And once they got as close to you as they deemed necessary, that's when they sunk their dirty fangs into you. The love bomb was over. The devaluation stage had begun, and that's when the narcissist began to show you more and more and more who they were. Not necessarily what they were doing, but this is when they were keeping you in the dark. This is example when they would not be as available to you as they used to be. Maybe you were married to the narcissist, or maybe it was your boyfriend or girlfriend or roommate or somebody, or maybe it was a friend in a friend group or a classmate or somebody. And once they learned all about you, well, now they knew which buttons to press. They knew when to be around you. They knew when not to be around you. They knew which excuses to throw at you. Example, hey, I just need a guy's weekend, or I just need a girl's weekend, or I'll be going away on a seminar for the weekend. I'll be unavailable. And by the way, don't try to call me or text me. There's no cell phone reception where I'm going, so I'll be off the grid. And you would be scratching your head saying, why would you be going somewhere that's off the grid? And why would you be going somewhere so far away? Or why are you doing this strange thing that you didn't even have any interest in recently? Well, now you're understanding a little bit more about what narcissism is. You see, everything isn't how it appears to be. And when you are trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, in the narcissistic fog, if you will, maybe even caught up in the trauma bond, you are helpless, and you are trying to get back to the beginning of that relationship. And this is why you were giving the narcissist passes. This is why you were not trusting your instincts or trusting your intuition. This is why you were ignoring red flags, making excuses for what you were seeing. And this is why the narcissist was continuing to break that relationship over and over and over again. So as the thumbnail mentions, it was over before it ended. What this means is, once the narcissist had their sights set on you, it was for a few reasons. Maybe you had a high level of empathy. Maybe you had a lot of money. Maybe you had a lot of love or empathy. Who knows what it was? Maybe it was all those things. But once the narcissist had their sights set on you, they were going to shower you with fake adoration, fake affection, fake love, fake empathy, fake commitment, fake caring, fake being there for you. They would use any kind of fakeness that they could get, that they could use to get as close to you as possible. Once that was over, I mean, they didn't have to fake it any longer. And let's say that now you moved them into your house, or you told them you loved them, or you married them, or you relocated with them, or went into business. You did something pivotal. Whenever you did that, that's officially, as far as I am concerned, and you don't need to agree, but that's when it was over. It was advantage narcissist, literally from the minute you met them until you figured out what narcissism was. But once you actually really turned the corner and they knew you were now invested with them, that was a insurmountable advantage that the narcissist had. Way more than when you first met them, because think about something, and I've never shared this in videos, but when you first met the narcissist, they knew who they were, and they knew, or they were learning about you. But you hadn't already committed to a relationship. You probably, or maybe even said, no, I didn't want to spend time with you, or I wasn't interested in you, or I wasn't attracted to you, or I didn't see anything in you. Well, what did the narcissist do? They figured out that you were high value. They studied you. They watched you up close and from afar. They learned what your hobbies were and your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and more. Next thing you know, they went back to try to approach you and say, hey, let's enter a relationship. Maybe it could be a romantic one, or I don't know. And now they're giving you the puppy dog eyes, or claiming that they're the victim, or they have it so terrible, or just give them one chance. No one's ever given them chances, and they have it so difficult in life, etc. Well, what did you do? Because you're an empath, no matter how you did it or what you did, you gave them an opportunity, and that opportunity is all they needed to sink their dirty fangs into you. That is what is known as the love bomb stage. I've mentioned that in thousands of videos. But having said that, that was one part. Now remember, you can't change the past. You need to take the lifelong learnings from the past. You need to not predict the future and live in the present moment. Why I said that, I'm giving you an illustration. When you first met the narcissist, it wasn't as if that was it. You were done. It was game, set, match for them, advantage. No, they still had to do a lot of work. They still had to fake so many things. Now flip it. This is the second part, and this is very important. You should play this video and play it a few times. The second part I'm talking about here is when it was over, before it ended. This is when you made that pivotal decision. As I shared, you told them you loved them, you relocated with them, you moved in with them, you loaned them a lot of money, or you let them live rent-free in your house, or whatever you did, or had kids with them, married, if I didn't say that, started dating, whatever you did. Once they knew you were invested, that's when they said, okay, this one, which was you, and it definitely was me. It only took me 3 months to get them to fall in love with me, or to get them to let me stay with them, or to get them to start paying for my addictions or my habits or my vices, whatever it was. I don't know what, or taking them to lunch or dinner, whatever it was, or buy them clothes, whatever you did. Once they knew that, then they knew that you actually cared about them. Play this part, it's very important. When they knew that you cared about them, now, usually I say love them or fell in love with them. I'm going to lower it a few notches here. Once they realized that you cared about them, that's when they said, okay, well, this person, they do care about me. I can see the way they look at me. I can see how much time they're giving me on the phone. I can watch their texts and see how many paragraphs they're sending me. I can see how they're sending me money or buying me food or Venmoing me or Cash Apping me. When I'm asking for $20, they're sending me 30, 40, 50. This is working. I'm really getting good at my skill set. I'm really getting good at my craft. When they knew that, that's when it was over, before it ended. And this is just one of, there are thousands of examples I could share with you, probably tens of thousands, but I don't have enough time in a 20-minute video to give you all those examples. What I'm sharing is, that's when they began to pull back. That's when the $20 you used to send them turned into 50. That's when the 50 you used to send them turned into 100. That's when the 100 used to send them turned into 150. That's when the 150 used to send them turned into 300. That's when they mysteriously had all these cousins or nephews or nieces from all over the globe that they needed to buy Christmas presents for that never existed. That's when they told you that they got 3 flat tires, and if you could just send them the money or just pay for their tires this time, that they'd get you back. And of course, they didn't have any flat tires, but they wanted to get more of your money. And everything isn't with money with the narcissist, but you must know by now that what does the narcissist love more than money? They love your money more than money. And usually when the money runs out, so does the narcissist. Having said all those things, it was over before it ended. Think about how many micro discards or mini discards you experienced when you were in that relationship. You didn't even know what a discard was. You probably thought a discard was when you throw something in the bin, or you throw something in the trash, or if you're playing a game, poker or something, and you say, oh, I'm gonna put 2 cards down, give me 2 more. Well, those are what the discard usually is. A discard is when it's the ending of the narcissistic relationship, and it comes out of left field at the hands of the narcissist. And they plan these things, they line them up, and they pick pivotal periods of time. Example, when you had a health challenge, when you lost your job, when you just signed the house over to them, or when a loved one passed, or maybe maybe when you gave birth to a child they weren't around, or maybe once they left their phone out on the counter so you could take a peek at their phone because you knew something was wrong, but you didn't realize that they left the phone out on purpose on the kitchen counter so you would look at it. So they would plant seeds in your mind without them having to lift a finger other than leaving their phone unlocked. The discard is one of the nastiest, most challenging, life-threatening, debilitating, challenging experiences to go through next to the narcissistic relationship. Each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. You're learning that. You now know it. Tough pill to swallow, but it's real. Because the narcissist was never loyal to you. They were never committed to you. They have no love. They have no empathy. They can fake anything that you have, but they don't possess what you have. Like I just shared, empathy, love, commitment, honesty, integrity. They don't have those things, and they know it. The narcissist is a bottomless pit. They have a huge void within them, and they're looking to fill it with what is known as supply. You were a supply source for the narcissist, as was I. In real life, you're not supply. What you are is a beautiful, bright, shining light. Now, I'm creating this video in the evening because I had a long day of sessions today. There is no sun behind me, but what there is abundance all around me, and it's around you. And the narcissist knew that, which is why they wanted you to be in their life for a period of time by future faking you, love bombing you, promising the sun, the moon, and the stars, delivering absolutely zero, taking the best of you, crumbling you up like a sheet of paper, discarding you, twisting the knife in you in as deep as possible, hoping you didn't figure it out or exist or put two and two together, hoping you would stay stuck in the trauma bond, hoping you would stay stuck pining for them, hoping you would never see behind the mask and break the cycle. Well, truth of the matter is if you made it this far in the video, you've either broken the narcissistic abusive cycle or you will, because you're craving the wisdom. You're searching for the answers to the questions that you did not have, and you're probably having more questions now that you didn't even know existed after the first 11 minutes and 11 seconds of this video. Now you're getting the wisdom. Once you get the wisdom, you need to apply the tools that I provide for you with each and every video. You need to continue to focus on yourself. You need to go no contact, block that person, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them, if not now, when. Now, again, I need to illustrate this, but I've said it for so many videos, for almost 5,000 videos over the years. Not everybody can go no contact immediately. I understand the whole thing. Not everybody can gray rock immediately. I get it. Many people have moving parts, such as houses or 401ks or children or credit cards or mortgages, or the narcissist has your things or you have their things, or their things are at your house or your things are at their house, whatever. I understand there are so many moving parts. That's why each and every one of us are on the healing path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. So parts of this video right now may apply to you. Some of these parts may apply to you in the future. But no matter what, you're still searching for answers to questions that you may have had or may not even have known about yet. That's why everybody comes back to get their cup full. That's why everybody at one point, what was known as the new supply, myself included. The new supply is not who you want to be. That's the last person on the planet you want to be. And you may think, well, no, I actually kind of loved being the new supply. It was fun. Well, think about it. Being the new supply, when you didn't even know what supply was, you were naive, you were vulnerable, you were committed, you were giving to a fault, you were an open book, you didn't know what narcissism was. So everything was new to you. That's why the narcissist took you on that roller coaster of emotions and took you super high and dropped you super low. Now, knowing what you do know, and knowing that if you were a new supply source in the future, which you will never be, and I certainly will never be one, then you know that it's just a matter of time before that fakeness wears off and you're going to get punished for being you. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to really have boundaries. You need to maintain your boundaries, and you need to understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And there is no room in your life now or in the future for toxicity, specifically at the hands of the narcissist you're considering, or any other toxic person who may enter your life, or the lives of the loved and trusted ones that you surround yourself with. Nobody is immune to the narcissistic relationship. I wasn't, you weren't. The difference between us and most people on the planet is most people on the planet will A, either never encounter the apex predator, the narcissist, the way you did. B, if they did, many of them won't get out of it. C, many of them will never figure it out. And D, most of them won't heal. And you may say to yourself, well, why would you say that last part? That's really a kind of a doom and gloom thing to say. No, it's not at all. It's reality. That's why you made it this far in the video. And I've said it 3 times now in the video. The reason you made it is because you understand this is life-threatening. It is a very challenging experience to go through, to say the least. It is the relationship from hell. You didn't know what it was, but you knew one thing: it was getting worse over and over and over again. It was deteriorating more and more and more. It was falling apart like a house of cards, like quicksand, like a Ponzi scheme. This is what these people are. They're nothing but criminals. They're rip-off artists. They are Ponzi scheme elemental people. They know what to do. They're grifters. They know how to mimic people. They know how to love bomb people. They know when to answer the phone, when not to phone, when to text, when not to text, when to hoover, when not to hoover. That's why you need to get off the radar of the narcissist. Become unhooverable. Understand this is your life. The narcissist took their best shots, plural, at you, and they did a lot of damage to you, just like me. I'm out. I'm 99.999. I am the fifth element of the nines healed. Nobody will ever be 100%. If anyone ever tells you that, they're incorrect, because triggers can still happen and memories can still happen, and you still have to listen to songs and still have to celebrate holidays if you so choose to do so, etc. That's why the healing path is not linear, and that's why it takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time you will heal if you utilize the tools I provide for you. Now, having said all these things, before I get ready to close the video, you need to remember and understand something. It was over before it ended. What that means is the narcissist was literally pecking at you like a buzzard in the middle of the desert. Sorry to be graphic, but it's true. And you were the person that the buzzard was pecking. You were alive, you were wounded, but you were being pecked at, and they were trying to feed off of you over and over and over again. Well, what happened? The narcissist had done that to so many other people. They didn't think those people would exist. So they flew around in the desert. Notice there's not water there. There's nothing but a vast wasteland. The desert's beautiful, but in this illustration, that's where the narcissist exists. There's no abundance, there's no trees, it's just desert and sand. But the narcissist had to sustain themselves by you, and you were a fuel source or a supply. They did the same thing with other people, but the other people didn't make it. Read between the tea leaves, read between the lines. You made it. So as the narcissist was continuing to press on that gas pedal of abuse every single day, week, month, year, decade, or more, they knew that you were falling apart. They knew that your physical concerns were getting worse. They knew that your mental aptitude was fading. They knew that your money was going to zero. They knew that your friendships or relationships were being blown up. They knew that you weren't doing what you were doing before, and they did it deliberately and intentionally and on purpose to destroy your life. What the narcissist did is they set you up like a bowling pin to knock you down over and over and over again, never thinking you would get back up, never thinking you would ever put yourself back together. So when it finally did end, it was long over before whenever it ended for you. Now, for me, it was October 29th, 2020, 2 days before what was my favorite holiday, which was Halloween, during the worst part of a pandemic. For those of you that remember where you were on that date, well, now you know where I was. Having said that, it was long over for me before it ended. I didn't know it was going to end. Now I do, which is why I share in so many videos over the years that every, and I mean every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. Mine did, and yours did, or yours will. That's why the narcissist slowly pulled back away from you over time. That's why they were going on the guys' trips or the girls' trips. That's why they were bleeding you dry of your money. That's why you were holding on to a little tiny little breadcrumb of hope. Could they be a good person? Could they change? Do they love me? Do they care about me? Well, I know we had a good time during the love bomb at the beginning. It was amazing. Well, it was on your dime. It was on your time. It was on your energy. The narcissist was just riding you as a wave, riding you into the ocean of abuse, the tidal wave of abuse, hoping that you would get crashed on the beach and you wouldn't come up for air. A lot of graphic examples in this video, but the truth is, you came up for air, that's why you're here. And that's why the narcissist had to slither off onto a new source of supply, because they thought they finished you off. But they did know one thing. They knew it was over long before they discarded you, or they knew it was over long before it ended, because they had done this before and before and before. This is why you need to get as far away from these people as fast as you possibly can. This is why the narcissist doesn't change, and this is why they care about absolutely nobody but themselves. The narcissist will get what's coming to them. It may happen today, it may happen tonight, it may happen tomorrow. I can't tell you when, where, or how. And I don't wish ill will upon anybody. I'm not going to start now. But you must remember, if you're out, stay out. The narcissist is stuck in that low vibrational state. They're continuing to abuse people, blame you, blame anyone they can, and pepper other people with the love bomb or the victim card, whatever they want to. But the narcissist needs supply. You are not supply. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light. And you need to understand that you were tested, or perhaps still are being tested. And this is a test you will pass, just like I did. I believe in you more than you will ever know. Whether I've met you in person during one-on-one sessions, whether you've watched all 5,000 of my videos, or maybe this is the first video you're ever consuming, I lived in the cycle. I made it out. I healed and healed properly against all odds, all by myself. If I did it, you can do it. You need to believe in yourself the way I believe in you, and you need to also recognize and realize by practicing radical acceptance that it was over before it ended. You just didn't want to admit it, because I didn't want to admit it either, because I was holding on to that little breadcrumb. Well, maybe it will be better tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. It never will come with the narcissist. All that comes is future faking, gaslighting, stonewalling, triangulation, verbal abuse, financial abuse, and blame shifting. That's all you will ever get from these people, and a whole bunch more of toxicity. But you will never get the honest answers to the questions you had. You will never get transparency, and you will never ever know the truth about where the narcissist was when they weren't with you. And truth be told, even when they were with you, they weren't with you. They were checked out on one of their 3 smartphones looking for your replacement. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you're not alone. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And one more thing, kind of a graphic video. I just want to let you know, because I gave you some pretty challenging illustrations there. All these videos are real me, talking in real time without a script. I don't care. I've never had a script. I'm not going to start now. So for all you people thinking, oh, why is Andrew keep it? Well, detach retina, people. I'm a human being just like you are. And I tap into my past every single time. And I give you everything I have, not only during my one-on-one sessions, but with videos, because I once was where you are or where you were. And I will never, and I mean never, go back to that hellhole ever again. And you shouldn't want to either. Break the cycle. Be the generational curse breaker. If not now, when? I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.